And looks like they're off. So, first kingdom is Cap Kingdom. It's pretty short, a little over, probably we'll likely see them take about 2.5 minutes or so. It's the tutorial section, but we will see them moving through it very, very quickly. There are some very difficult jumps near the end of it. We'll see if they choose to do that. It is optional, so we'll see, but we might see a technique here right at the very start called a spin pound, which can allow someone to accelerate very quickly to max speed, which you saw Zinpars do there. And Iluvatar, since he does not have the motion controls, he has to take a little bit of an alternate strategy, and you can see the difference already in between the two times. And here, they're both pulling the switch and diving down the bridge. We'll appear, and they're pretty close, within 5 seconds or so, I'd say. But I may be a little off. Oh, Zinpar is almost taking some damage on the Goombas there. I've definitely done that a few times, and looks like Zinpars might have been going for a fast frog strategy, which is pretty tough, and respect him for doing that in a race, because there's a version of that frog which you can get very, very quickly, but it seems like he may have made a mistake there. But they're pretty close to even now. Looks like they're both vectoring, which when you turn in the air, you go a little bit faster than you normally would. So that's why I'm doing that zigzag there. It looks like Zinpars is trying left side, which is pretty difficult, but Zinpars is taking the little bit more consistent way of doing it with the vault there, and you see Iluvatar tried the harder but a little bit faster version with the triple jump, and Iluvatar unfortunately missed that, but both fights seem to be going pretty smoothly. Zinpars just finishing as Iluvatar is about halfway done. Now completely done. So, not too big of a difference. Zinpars had really a pretty solid cap. We should see around a 230 or so with this one and on the fade out. But that's the start. Pretty basic, just Cap Kingdom for you. Started the run, and they both get around 235, 240 it looks like. Yeah, 235 for Zinpars and a 240 for Iluvatar. And now we'll go into Cascade Kingdom, where this is another relatively short one. There's a boss fight at the end, and sort of the first skip comes into play with Dino Skip. You'll see right before the boss fight, in about a minute here, they will be capturing a dinosaur and skipping the majority of Cascade Kingdom. But both of the chain jump captures pretty smooth, and yeah, there's not really big difference between them yet, which is good. It makes for a good race. But the dino skip that I was talking about earlier, where you have to jump on a trampoline to jump to the boss fight, basically, it can be pretty tricky, so one of them, or both of them, may mess it up, and looks like Zinpars is going for the left side of the bridge, which is a little bit faster, and Iluvatar actually opted to go for the spin pound there, which he didn't go to the left, so it wasn't faster than the left side that Zinpars took, but still pretty dang fast. And here we see the dino, which they'll be jumping on a trampoline under these rocks here, which you can see Zinpars executes pretty well, pretty fast, and Iluvatar does as well. The boss fight, where they will basically, you can see the chain jump being thrown at Mario. You can actually jump on the chain jump and then hit it with your hat and then capture it right after, which is the fastest way of doing this boss fight. You can see both of them are doing this strategy because it is nice and fast, and it does feel really satisfying to get. Looks like both really good boss fights from them. It's hard to do it much faster. Might have been able to shave off another like half second, but pretty much a perfect boss fight from the both of them. And Zinpar is rolling to the moon there, which is the fastest way of getting both of them rolling to the moon. The fastest way of getting it there. Now, the boss fight is done, but they do need to pick up one more moon, and that will be on the cliff after they teleport back to the Odyssey. And Zinpars is on 1.1.0, and Iluvatar is on 1.2.0. And hey, everybody in chat. So you can see Zinpars here going for this moon on the cliff, which he does pretty quick. Same with Iluvatar. Seems like they have the same strat there. You are able to do a spin pound and roll, which looks like Iluvatar did. But you can do it on both directions. So you can do one there and then do one back. And looks like Iluvatar did one on the way back. I didn't catch if Zinpars did or not. Yeah, very close. Let's see how much of a time difference these guys have. Looks like there's about a 4-second lead for Zinpars. So it's really close. Still only 6 minutes in, though, about 1/10 of the way through the run. We'll see. Sand can be is a very difficult kingdom, so we may see some more major mistakes here that lose some time. And there will probably be some variation in strategy here, because I believe, from what it looked like, Zinpars may be doing Sphinx Clip, which is very difficult. And we'll see how he does on that. But Iluvatar can't even do it because he's on the newer version, which that has been patched out. So we will see a difference in strategy here. Likely we will see Zinpars skip a bird at the very beginning, which holds a moon, and Iluvatar will, I think, get the bird a little bit earlier. See, they'll both be jumping off the fountain. Real smooth to this first moon. Unfortunately, Zinpars bonks there. It's a tricky spot. And another bonk from Zinpars, which looks like Iluvatar is a little bit ahead. And yeah, Iluvatar is waiting for that bird. You can see, waits for the bird, gets it, while Zinpars just goes into the pipe right away. So Zinpars will be getting that bird a little bit later, because the bird will travel around Sand Kingdom. Iluvatar gets the moon pretty clean, and Zinpars moving over to the sand pile here. And this moon can be pretty tricky. It's easy to miss, and it looks like Zinpars takes 2 tries to get it there. We'll see if Iluvatar gets it. And it may look like Iluvatar is a little bit behind now, but keep in mind that he actually has 1 more moon than Zinpars, so that's something important to keep in mind. And looks like Iluvatar got it on the first try, and there are a few different strategies here. We'll see which ones they opt to take, because there is the Dram strat here where you can warp up with the Bullet Bill, and it looks like Zinpars is opting not to do that, which it's a very difficult trick, so it's understandable. It's in a race. And so now we'll get to see if Zinpars will be keeping the Bullet Bill alive here, which is also very difficult. And it looks like maybe he kept it alive here. Yeah, kept it alive. Real nice and smooth. And it looks like Iluvatar also going to keep the Bullet Bill alive and not using Dram strat. And oh, it looks like he may have killed the Bullet Bill. Yeah, Iluvatar kills the Bullet Bill, has to wait another 5 or 6 seconds there, so just a little bit of a time loss, which is unfortunate, but Zinpars moving cleanly to luggage, it looks like, and Iluvatar getting that Pillar Moon. And Zinpars with the clean spin pounds. Yeah, Iluvatar, it's a lot more difficult to get to that pillar without motion controls there, I think, so just a little bit of a tougher thing there. And it looks like Zinpars is going for that Sphinx Clip, so this might have be an opportunity for Iluvatar to catch up here, because it looks like took 3 attempts to get into the Sphinx, which I think that won't save any time over Iluvatar's strategy here, where it looks like he may just be talking to this. Here we go. Zinpars grabbing the coins, which he will need later in the run to purchase some moons in Wooded Kingdom and Snow Kingdom. The spin pound from Zinpars inside of the Sphinx there. Get some extra speed. And just rolling up the stairs, getting Bullet Bill here, and you can see Iluvatar, since he didn't do the clip, he has to walk around here to get this moon inside the sands, so gets the moon, and now he is got a little bit of catching up to do, but really not that significant because Zinpars does have to wait to pick up an extra moon as well because he is pretty a little bit. It's less. Zinpars has less of a lead than it looks at this point, but Zinpars cleanly getting that Jaxi skip, which can be pretty tricky, especially in a race setting. If you miss where you need to hit on the wall there, just by a little bit, it can actually kill you, which is pretty tough because that's a 40-second time loss. So the left side of the face here, and Iluvatar makes it up cleanly as well. But it looks like Zinpars does have a bit of a lead out of this kingdom here. But there's a lot more of the run to go, so we'll likely see at some point Iluvatar may catch up with a mistake made by Zinpars at some point, because the next kingdom, Lake, is another short one. There's probably not going to be any significant mistakes there, but Wooded can have a lot of problems because it's kind of difficult. And yes, Iluvatar is on a GameCube controller, using the accessory you get with the Switch to plug in GameCube controllers. You can plug into your Switch as well and use GameCube controllers there, but that means no motion controls. But we can see Zinpars moving along to Lake Kingdom here, and Iluvatar just a little bit behind. Let's see, how big of a lead does Zinpars have? But that sand looks to be about 15 seconds or so, so nothing really significant. It can be like one mistake can make up that amount of time. And you can see Zinpars getting the first moon in Lake Kingdom here, where he will throw his cap, leave it there while he picks up the moon, and probably walk right into it to get up on this jump. And then take the zipper here to get another moon. Cleanly getting the zipper. That zipper can be pretty tricky a lot of the time. It's easy to miss and fall into the water, which can be really, really frustrating. But Zinpars getting that moon, and we'll see how Iluvatar does. It's interesting seeing the differences between Iluvatar and Zinpars, just because Iluvatar cannot roll. Zinpars getting that moon, and Iluvatar getting the zipper cleanly here. Yep. Very cleanly. They didn't fall at all, which is nice, because, like I said, it can be so frustrating. But there are two different strategies for the end of the fish section here, which you can see Zinpar getting to, where you can either do a wall jump or just dive up from the fish, which can be pretty tricky. You'll see Zinpars do it here. We'll see. Looks like Zinpars is going for the fast fish, where he goes on the surface a little bit and just dives right up, where... Oh, but he does bonk there and take some damage, so that's a little bit of time lost, but the damage is kind of inconsequential because the boss fight doesn't matter too much with the damage, and Zinpars is doing the fast strategy for the boss fight, rolling into that hat. Can be pretty... It's easy to mess up, so that's good that he got it. And let's see if Iluvatar does the wall jump or fast fish here. The wall jump is a little bit easier, so you can see Iluvatar does do the wall jump. It is a little bit easier, but it's easier in a race. It's... No problems with that. Iluvatar, you can see taking the dive strat onto Rango there, which slightly slower, but nothing too significant. And Iluvatar is actually doing every single jump as a backflip, while Zinpars, it looked like he did a backflip, and then he ground pounded through Rango, and then just did a ground pound jump on top of him, which personally I find to be easier, but whatever works. See, Zinpars already back at the Odyssey, and Iluvatar just picking up the multi-moon now. Both pretty solid Lake Kingdoms from the two of them. Iluvatar just missing the first ground pound there, and I think Zinpars bonked after the zipper, but really good Lake Kingdoms from the both of them. And now Wooded, another one of the really difficult kingdoms. I think a lot of people do consider it to be the most difficult kingdom. The crux for a lot of people. we will see if there's any mistakes here. And it is very easy to make mistakes on Wooded Kingdom. There's a lot that can go wrong. We'll see that, especially if they manage to fall into deep woods, which if one of them falls into deep woods, it's likely that they're just going to lose because of it. But I haven't seen that happen in any races yet. But Zinpar is actually doing a faster strategy for getting the bunny in this rock moon, where he picks up the rock and runs into the rabbit, which the rabbit can be pretty annoying. It's difficult to hit him a lot of the time. Zinpar is buying the first moon here, and it looks like Iluvatar doing the older strat. It seems like that's going to be a trend with Iluvatar doing the safer strats for his race, which makes sense. Safer strats, more consistent. Probably a good idea. Iluvatar just moving over to the moon that he will purchase, and Zinpars is going to climb the waterfall, which unfortunately Zinpars missed that dive, and he has to figure out an alternate way up, but makes it up. Does another bonk there, though, so just giving Iluvatar some time to catch up. A little bit of sloppy movement, but he'll shake it off, I'm sure. And Iluvatar making it up that waterfall real smooth, and as Zinpar picks up the nut. We'll see something interesting here. It doesn't look like Zinpars is going to do a triple jump, because it is possible to do a triple jump down this hallway and actually skip this uproot, but it looks like neither of them were able to keep their speed there, and they're both going to have to take the uproot, and Zinpars busting a nut and getting the moon and rolling all the way down to the pipes, which is one of the notoriously difficult sections of Wooded, as the whole thing is on a timer, and if you make one little mistake, you can mess up the timing for the whole thing, and everything can just go wrong. So we'll see if either of them make any mistakes here, but looks like Zinpars had a clean first moon, but Iluvatar may have made a mistake there at the beginning, unfortunately, so he may have to take a slower cycle. And Zinpars does take damage, which it's a hard section. It's understandable, and yeah, Zinpar is having some trouble getting up there, as Iluvatar takes damage on the exact same spot, of course. But it looks like Iluvatar managed to make up some time there, so they're only within a few seconds of each other now, but now we will jump up and get a little bit of a tower climb here. Oh, Zinpar is taking a bonk, and it looks like Iluvatar has a chance to catch up a little bit. Yeah, Iluvatar now ahead, actually. But that can be tough. It looks like, yeah, Zinpar is having some trouble there, but he is making it up now. There you go. Capturing the uproot, which has yet to spawn. To spawn that uproot, you have to make sure to turn the camera at a certain angle to make him spawn, so you don't have to wait. And it looks like Zinpar, since he bonked, did forget to do that. But Iluvatar bonking there, that long jump, it's difficult to see the wall as it is invisible. But nice Piranha Plant from Iluvatar, and we will see Zinpars getting that Piranha Plant as well. Looks like... oh no, Zinpars missing his hat for some reason and actually dying there, which is a significant time loss, actually, because you go all the way down to the pipes, so that's a terrible loss for Zin... oh, Zinpars actually got the checkpoint. Never mind. Not a significant loss from Zinpars, but still, a death is a death, and that's pretty tough, but not as significant as I thought, because he did get that checkpoint there, which, if he didn't get the checkpoint, he would have had to go all the way back up again, but it is very close. We'll see. Flower skip, one of the little bit more difficult tricks here from Iluvatar, and he's having some trouble getting the instant roll cancel here, but he does get it and makes the jump on the third or fourth try, but maybe Zinpars will have an opportunity to make some time up after the death here if he gets a little bit of a smoother flower skip. We'll see. It is pretty tricky to get this roll cancel right, but it looks like Zinpar is playing it safe after that death and just taking the flower road, which is a few seconds slower, but maybe not even that significant of a time loss, just because of how many tries it took Iluvatar to get that flower skip. So he might have actually saved time there on Iluvatar, but see Iluvatar taking the tower up, and without motion controls. I'm interested to see how Iluvatar can make this, because... oh, Iluvatar can still make that without motion controls. I had no idea. I wonder what allowed him to make the uproot go there. I'll have to check that out in the future. We're going to see a boss fight here, Spewart, which is one of the easiest boss fights in the speedrun, in my opinion. It's pretty simple. You just got to smack him with your hat and jump on him right at the beginning here, as you can see Iluvatar is doing. And then it's just a matter of jumping whenever the Spewart starts moving, and you can see that. And Iluvatar is going for the fast strategy, but missed it a little bit there and took some damage, so Zinpars had a little bit of time to catch up. But you can see Iluvatar throwing out his hat while Spewart is kind of in the air there, and if you time it right, you can actually knock off his hat and jump on him at the exact same time. And let's see if Zinpars gets it. Zinpars releases the hat a little bit too early, and they're both picking up coins because it looks like they will need them for the future, but let's see. Neither of them do get the fast strat on Spewart, but it is pretty tricky. It's not a very big window to get it, so I see even the world record holder still messes it up, so it's not anything to feel too bad about. But after Wooded Kingdom, like I said, it's easy to mess up, and with that mistake from Zinpars, it looks like Iluvatar is a little bit ahead now. But again, nothing significant. Like a single death can make up the time. But we will be moving on to you believe one of the GameCube buttons does the shaking. Iluvatar can shoot the fireballs. Iluvatar shoots the fireballs by holding the swipe button. So he can either hold X or Y, and it'll actually charge up a fireball there, Izzy. In a tizzy. So he is able to shoot fireballs even without motion controls. But they're both leaving Wooded here, and I'm going to see. Let's see how big of a time difference they have. Alright. Can't imagine it's very large. Looks to be, I'd guess, like 15 seconds or so, and let's see. It is, yeah, about 16 seconds. Zinpars has Iluvatar has a 16-second lead, but if you mess up this boss fight, you can lose 10 to 15 seconds if you do it wrong. But Iluvatar taking the safe strat for this boss fight, because you can roll right up to Bowser and hit him right away. We'll likely see Zinpars doing that. It looks like that's what he's been doing for this race, going balls to the wall, going all out on it. So we'll see here if he rolls right into Bowser, and it looks like he is trying that. So you can see slightly faster, and unfortunately he messes up the strategy, so has to waste some time there. But that's what you get for trying the harder strats. They're easier to mess up. We'll see Iluvatar here on the last stage of the Bowser fight. Cloud. And he will be taking deliberate damage here, so he can pick up this hat instantly, a little bit easier than doing the backflip, which I didn't catch to see if he was doing that or not. But see Iluvatar done with the fight, as Zinpars is about to be starting the final phase here, which pretty close. Zinpars also taking that deliberate damage, and then picking up the hat, where we'll see Iluvatar moving into Lost, but that's another probably 5-6 second time loss from Zinpar, so there's probably a 20-second difference between the two now. And it's gonna be interesting to see the strategy Iluvatar uses for this meme tree, where he jumps up the tree to get up on this cliff here to skip getting your hat stolen by Klepto, which we will see in just a moment, I'm sure. But Iluvatar getting up there very cleanly, didn't really have too much trouble getting that first moon. Zinpars looks like he's using a similar strategy. A little bit different, but Zinpars almost fallen off the tree there, but he's up. There you go. Getting up to the top. Jumping across. As Iluvatar gets his third moon from Lost, where he's in the part of Lost where it's just rapid fire moons over and over again. And Iluvatar throws his cap for another vault. One of the few in the run that are used a lot. So he misses the vault, though. And here's where we spook the bird that I was talking about earlier. So jumping on that little pillar there beside the bird scares it, so it's not able to pick up your hat. Because if you were to go through the rest of Lost Kingdom, certain places you stand, the bird would steal your hat, and that would be a 40-second time loss. But it doesn't look like either of them will have their hat stolen in this one, but we will see. Zinpars almost hitting the grape juice there, but skillfully avoiding it. Just dove in the wrong direction there for a moment, but seems like he made it up. Having some trouble getting that Pillar Moon, but we'll see Iluvatar getting this Cage Moon here, and this is where some of their strategies can differ, because there is an option. You can either get this Cage Moon, and there is a Stone Cage at the bottom. Zinpars taking a little bit of damage there on the bug that blows up the rock, but not too big of a deal, because he will... And it looks like Zinpars is actually getting this Stone Cage Moon, as I was talking about, so you do see a little bit of a difference in the routes here. And this Moon under the bridge can be pretty tricky. Iluvatar got it really smooth, and so did Zinpars, so that's good. No real major mistakes from them, and Zinpars also making it up, saving himself from a death. You can die there, and it will lose about 4 seconds, but if you were to die there, it's not that significant, so not bad, but seems like Iluvatar did extend the lead just a little bit more in that one with some of Zinpars' trouble with a few moons, taking some damage and just having trouble walking into the moon inside one of the pillars. But like I said, there's a lot of difficult ones grouped up near the beginning, because Night Metro is a pretty difficult one, and we could see if one of them gets... There is a boss fight at the end of Night Metro, and if one of them get a 3-cycle instead of 2-cycle, that's a 30-second time loss. So if Iluvatar does get a third cycle, then Zinpars is basically caught right up there. But first jump can be pretty tricky, but Iluvatar gets at that awning jump, and Iluvatar taking a long jump across. You are able to triple jump across there, and it is slightly faster, but a lot of people do find it more difficult. Zinpars seems like his beginning of Night Metro was relatively smooth as well. Iluvatar opting to roll off, and can be a little bit scary rolling off of that building there, because he makes the jump just a little bit tighter. But they're both looks like they both opted for the long jump, I think, to the Girder Sandwich Moon there. But Iluvatar entering the Lost and Found, I believe it's called. I always just call it Night Metro Tower, but this platforming, it does depend on the timing, basically, because those platforms at the beginning are set to a certain timing. So if you aren't fast enough, then you may miss the cycle, and it'll be a little bit slower, but it looks like both of them did make that cycle, so no real time loss in this tower, which is good. And now they'll be moving on to the boss fight, but both pretty solid Night Metros for them so far, and Iluvatar going for the spin pound around the tower, which messed up a little bit, hit the wall there, but good on him for trying. It's pretty difficult to do, but I guess there isn't any reason not to, because it's not that significant of a time loss. But you can see Iluvatar getting a very clean first cycle for the Mecha Wiggler, only taking 3 shots, which is actually the minimum amount of shots it takes to end the first cycle, so that's awesome. And we'll see Zinpars entering this now as well. We can see Zinpars taking, it's like 5 shots here to get the first cycle. Not bad. Wiggler started moving a little bit, but it shouldn't be that big of a time loss here. See Iluvatar, see if he gets this second cycle Wiggler, or if he takes an extra one. Because a lot of it is dependent on luck. This is one of the only RNG sections of the game, is the pattern that this Wiggler takes and how long it moves around for, so we'll see. But it looks like Iluvatar is going to have a really solid second cycle of the Mecha Wiggler, as Zinpars is just waiting for the second cycle to start now. But yeah, a really solid Mecha Wiggler there. It's hard to do it faster than the way Iluvatar did right there. But Zinpars hitting the fireballs, I suppose, and Zinpars did miss the head there, but it looks like he will have a really solid Mecha Wiggler as well. A little bit of a trouble with the beginning, getting those first few shots, but really not that big of a time loss over Iluvatar. Maybe another 5-10 seconds or so. But I think we will see, since Iluvatar did update, he may not be doing a scooter clip now, which you will probably see Zinpars do. But in the new update that Iluvatar does have, the scooter clip is much more difficult to do, where you get on the scooter and clip your head into a cage with a moon to pick it up. See, Iluvatar, since he doesn't have motion controls, he isn't able to use a little warp there, where basically what you do is you throw Cappy, leave him over that electrical piece, and then you shake once you pick up that moon inside of the girder. But since he didn't have motion controls, he couldn't shake to home the moon in, and looks like he's having some trouble with the cage there. So, but he does get the moon, and it looks like Zinpars will do the teleport there, as I was describing, and we'll see. It looks like Zinpars is going for this scooter clip, so you can see the difference between the two. The one had to take the RC car, but Zinpars having a little bit of trouble with the cage, but it is a difficult trick anyways, so it's not surprising that having some trouble, but does get it on the second pass through, as Iluvatar is going for bench friends. But it looks like maybe Zinpars saved a little bit of time despite having to take a second loop around there on Iluvatar, who had some trouble with the RC car. Both are pretty difficult. The RC car can be pretty difficult to do quickly. Now, after Iluvatar gets this moon, he will be warping up to the top of the tower, which at the beginning when he missed the spin pound in Night Metro, he almost missed the checkpoint. He actually had to turn around to activate the checkpoint there, so this is why he did activate the checkpoint, to jump up here and get this moon in the dumpster. Middle of nowhere. Zinpars warping up, and looks like Zinpars did make up a little bit of time in this day Metro, just with the little extra warp there, and Scooter Clip being, looks like, slightly faster than his RC car. But Iluvatar still with a decent lead, and doing the climb on the tower, which it's really easy to fall down from, but Iluvatar making it pretty easy. Zinpars also getting that dive from the dumpster, which is good, because it's easy to miss that moon and just fall all the way down, which can be pretty frustrating. And Iluvatar also diving down to another moon there. Zinpars missing one of his backflips there on the tower, but it seems like he had a really solid recovery, and now he's diving down to the water, and Iluvatar going into the crowded hallway, or whatever its name is. See if Zinpars gets a first try ground pound. He does. Very nice. Iluvatar, we'll see if Iluvatar bonks here. He is a little bit low, but he does opt to do another jump just to be safe there. And yeah, Iluvatar with a very clean, crowded hallway, I guess. I'm not sure of the official name of it. Zinpars unfortunately bonking. Getting the last few moons here, just talking to Pauline. Is it Pauline? Getting Yao. And then getting another Mecha Wiggler moon, smashing his dead body, and then getting the OTEP moon. Oh, Iluvatar having some trouble there. He did go for a spin pound, but he didn't aim at 100% properly there, but has allows Zinpars to get a little bit of a time save there, but you can see Iluvatar getting this moon here. And Zinpars seems like he had a little bit of a cleaner haul there. I'm not sure of the exact name of that, but it looks like they're... Yeah, it's about a 20-second lead. Yeah, Exo Kid. About a 20-second lead. But we'll see here. Both getting the OTEP moon. And moving out of Metro. Still very close. We're only halfway through the runabout, so we will likely... I feel like we'll probably see some more... I feel like we might see another death, because there are some difficult kingdoms coming up still with Bowser's. It's very easy to die on Bowser's. Let's see. Iluvatar hits it at about 34-30, and we'll see when Zinpars hits the end of this split, just to see the lead that Iluvatar does have. About a 14-second lead, that's it. It's not actually that significant. Really, like, a single missed jump can make up almost all of that time in the wrong place, so we'll see here. Going to Snow, I believe they both have the enough coins to buy the moon here, which is why they're going to snow first, because if they didn't have enough coins, they would be going to seaside, as you do get a significant amount of coins there. But it's like Iluvatar having some trouble, hitting a little bit of an ice pillar there. Can be a little bit annoying when you do hit that, and Iluvatar bonking, so throwing away some of his lead if Zinpars has a good blizzard area, and it looks like Zinpars having a little bit of an easier time with this one. Yep, getting to Captain Toad a little bit more quickly. It is easy to bonk on that back wall there, which he didn't do, which is good. And now we're going down into Shiveria. Is that the proper term for it? I'm not even sure. I've always played in Japanese because speedrunning, so I can't even remember. Both going in. It looks like Zinpars tried to do a strategy there where he roll cancels into the hole, but messed it up a little bit there. But not really that big of a consequence. Iluvatar getting the first moon inside very swiftly, while Zinpars does unfortunately bonk. Having some trouble, but he did get it with that dive there, and Iluvatar almost buying the heart. Menuing the hardest part of the run. Zinpars did do Sphinx XO Kid, yes. On the third try, I believe, he managed to get Sphinx Clip, which is pretty good. I don't think that was a time loss over Iluvatar's strategy. Iluvatar taking the umbrella jump up to get this moon here, which can be pretty difficult. We'll see if Zinpars makes it look as easy as Iluvatar did. He's opting to take a different one. I believe that one is slightly faster to take, but he gets it, so that's good. Iluvatar. Looks like Iluvatar is about one moon ahead, but see, Zinpars misses the roll cancel there and bonks on the wall, unfortunately, but does get that moon. This can be a pretty tricky moon that Iluvatar is in, the room here. It is very easy to mess up and die on, but see, it looks like he did have a little bit of trouble, and he's just playing it safe, it looks like. But he did make it up on that wall, but Zinpars, we'll see if he has a better time with it. Looks like Zinpars did have a little bit of trouble there, but it was faster than Iluvatar, so he made up a little bit of time there. But I've never seen that before. I think he might have accidentally triple jumped at that spot. Iluvatar taking some damage while he's killing that last Spiny, and Zinpars is able to kill the Spinies a little bit faster because he does have motion controls, and motion control shaking with the wind capture there is faster than just without motion controls. But it looks like Zinpars, just because of that room, did make up some time. Iluvatar maybe frustratingly shaking his camera there in the cutscene. But now we go into the Goomba room, which it is really easy to accidentally kill a Goomba, so we may see a dead Goomba here, or just even a dead Mario. It's easy to fall off the ice, but Iluvatar gets the first two Goombas pretty easily, and same with Zinpars, not too much trouble. Oh, Iluvatar does take some damage, so that's an extra second or two, and looks like they're getting a lot closer here. Yeah, looks like they may be tied now, because Iluvatar does... Nope. Zinpars actually takes the lead because of that damage that he took there. And they're both making it across that gap. If you get the wrong type of jump there, if you long jump too early, or if you're going for a triple jump and miss it, it is pretty easy to die in that section, so good they both didn't do that. And now they're just moving on to the last room where they pick up their final moon. It is the room with a Rango rematch, but they're just going to ignore the boss fight and just pick up the moon that's hidden around the corner, which you will see here in a moment. Taking the wind to get up to the hole in the wall there, which they will run through, and Zinpars looks like almost fell off there, but nothing too crazy, and Iluvatar getting the moon as well. But they're really close, but the leads did switch in this kingdom there just due to some just really minor mistakes adding up in Snow Kingdom. Nothing major happened, but Zinpars was just a cleaner snow and made up all the time there. Now there's maybe a 4 or 5 second lead for Zinpars. Now we'll be moving into Seaside Kingdom, which is one of the slower kingdoms. I know for a speedrun perspective in the any percent category, it is sort of one of the most relaxing kingdoms, I suppose, where there isn't too much advanced tech in it. There's a few tricky jumps at the beginning, but most of Seaside Kingdom is done inside of a cheap, so it's just swimming underwater. But the first jumps can be a little bit difficult, especially the room where you're supposed to use a gushion to get up, and we will be seeing that here in a moment. And one of them is on the new patch. Iluvatar is on the new patch. Zinpar is still on 1.0 or 1.1.0. Archix. Yeah, they both got that first moon very quickly, which is good because that can be a little bit tough if you don't have the peak of all your jumps there. Both getting that, and you can see really how close they are. They were both in that room at the same time. But this is the moon that I was talking about. It can cause some problems if you aren't absolutely perfect. And it looks like Iluvatar did make a little bit of a mistake there, so he has to take the jump again. But Zinpar is a really clean moon there. Rolls over to one of the tricky ones, I'd say. This one can be hard to line up if it's not perfect. But it looks like Zinpars did have a good alignment with that flower and the notes, so he managed to hit all of them in a row, and same with Iluvatar, getting that moon really smoothly. And now they'll capture a Gushin just for a moment, just to get over to a cheap. You'll see that here. A really solid race on the both of them so far. Both just made a little bit of a mistake there. Released out of the Gushin a little bit too late from Zinpars, and Iluvatar didn't capture him quite quickly enough, but they're both in the cheap now. Zinpar's getting that moon in the chest, and they may take damage on these sea bacons here, so that'll be 2 seconds. And if Zinpars does take damage or does a fish bonk here or there, Iluvatar may be able to take the lead back here. We'll see, because it's very easy to fish bonk on a lot of places, just because the camera is a bit strange in a lot of these sections where you can't exactly see where you're going, so it's very, very easy to bonk with the cheap. It's not as big of a time loss as with a regular bonk like with Mario, but it is still time loss nonetheless. But getting the second to last moon here, buried one. It looks like Iluvatar had some trouble. It almost missed one of the piles there, but neither of them did take any damage, so looks like Zinpars maybe padded his lead a little bit more there with the trouble that he had with the spinning on those the piles in that section. And yeah, Iluvatar does bonk once, but really I don't think either of them bonked at all in the water, aside from that one fish bonk from Iluvatar, so that's pretty decent. And I'm not actually sure how Iluvatar attacks. I have no idea how Iluvatar is managing to attack with no motion controls. We'll see. Looks like Zinpars did get a bit of a lead there. Like, he gained some time, and Iluvatar messing with the camera. But it looks like Zinpars hit the end of that split at a 43-44, so we'll see. It looks like he has about a 9-second lead now, so really, this race could go either way at this point, and they're pretty far in now. And it is just X plus Y while you're not moving, I would assume. Alright. Interesting. But we're going into Luncheon, the food type evolution. And Zinpars, oh, it looks like he was gonna, he thought about going for a tough jump there where you do a triple jump off that salt pile, but I think he might have changed his mind. It looks like Iluvatar is going for the tough triple jump there. He does miss it, unfortunately, so that's a little bit more time for Zinpars, but doing the backflip, one of the trickier jumps in Luncheon for sure. Zinpars about a moon ahead now, but Zinpars does bonk, which gives Iluvatar a little bit of time to catch up there. And Iluvatar does have an easier time with that jumping up to get to the Spear Road fight. This is a rematch. We'll see if either of them do get the fast strat here. It's still a little bit tricky, but we'll see. It doesn't look like Iluvatar is even trying it, which probably if Zinpars messes up the fast strategy, it's probably faster just to do what Iluvatar is doing and just playing it safe and doing the backflips. But really, maybe just with the bonk there, it looks like Iluvatar did make up some time from his mistake at the beginning with missing that triple jump. But props to him for trying it. It's very difficult. I don't even do that in runs yet. Now we'll be going into one of the sub rooms just for a moment, walking around the corner, grabbing a moon. Zinpars, who doesn't seem like he take any damage, which is good. And Iluvatar getting that moon, also not taking any damage, which is good. This part can be pretty tricky. There's you jump on the wall here, and it is pretty easy to miss the one spot on the wall that you can jump onto. So neither of them missed it, but it looks like Zinpar is having some trouble getting on that pillar. He missed it in the beginning, which allowed Iluvatar to actually take the lead there. So, like I said, just one mistake is all it takes, and that's all it took, just missing a single jump on the pillar. Iluvatar getting that moon right there. It's an interesting strategy. I don't think I've seen that strategy before, but I suppose since he can't use motion controls, that's what he had to do, because he couldn't home his cap in. But Zinpar is bonking again as Iluvatar with a little bit more of a lead. But Zinpars probably will be able to make up some time here because Iluvatar won't be able to do turnip clip anymore while Zinpars will. So if Zinpars does it right, that can be like an 8-second time save, I believe, which is pretty much the amount that Iluvatar is ahead now. And we might see a difference in routes here as well. We'll see if they take Forks or the Lava Bubble room. It'll be likely that they both take the Forks, as it is faster, and most people do find it easier. We'll see here. And Iluvatar actually can't use the boost on the Lava Bubble because he doesn't have motion control. So his Forks room, and when he's using the Lava Bubble, will be a little bit slower because it's faster to use the motion controls on these Forks and the Lava Bubble. So see here that Zinpars will make up a little bit of time. Nothing too crazy, but it is time. Oh, Zinpars misses one of the throws, but he does capture the fork still. And now you can see how close they really are. Looks like Zinpars did make up a little bit of time in that room despite missing one of the throws. But we'll see how Iluvatar does this, because I believe you do have to shake to get this jump, and apparently you don't. I learned something new today. I was almost sure you had to do a little boost there to make it, but Iluvatar has proved me wrong. Zinpars and Iluvatar both making that jump. And let's see if Iluvatar does go for turnip clip. He likely will. We'll see here. He does go for it. So Zinpars may be able to take the lead here just with a little mistake that Iluvatar is making right now with taking that damage and having trouble capturing the Panbro. But Zinpars missing the Kobe, but getting the setup right here. Throwing the turnip in the right place, recapturing, and it looks like Zinpars has taken back the lead just with this turnip clip. But he does get it on the first try as well. Yeah. Zinpars takes back that lead. Probably maybe a 3-second lead now for Zinpars, which isn't that significant. Maybe a little bit more than that, actually. But Zinpars getting the moon, and then Iluvatar. Probably the last of the lava bubbles for him, just because they were slowing him down. That was probably most of the time loss that Iluvatar had there, was just because he didn't have motion controls, couldn't use the faster lava bubble stuff. But both getting that moon real smooth, and it can be pretty easy to fall into the Pepto here. Pepto-Bismol. Let's see if either of them do. No, Iluvatar didn't, and Zinpars obviously didn't either. Iluvatar missing that jump up to the platform there, but made it to the meat, and Zinpars took a little bit of damage there, but because this is a multi-moon, he doesn't have to wait for himself to heal, so it's not that significant of a time loss. Maybe not the full 2 seconds, but maybe a second or so, just because of the struggle he had getting up to that multi-moon there. But skip some cutscenes, and now we'll be moving on to the auto-scroller, the Ruined Kingdom, with the one boss fight. And Iluvatar does not have motion controls, no. Iluvatar plays on a GameCube controller. But now we'll be able to see here how big of a lead Zinpars managed to pull ahead with this. Alright, but it's really not significant. Like, still, anything can happen. This far into the run, it's pretty impressive. And Zinpars looks like he had a 50-57 there for the end of that Kingdom, and he has a 51-04 for Iluvatar, so a 7-second lead is tiny in this. But this race may come down to the mech fight at the end of Bowser's Kingdom, which you will see after this Kingdom here with Ruined. But it's not likely that anything crazy is going to happen here. It's a pretty basic section of the run. It's probably the most consistent part of the run for... you're not going to have any time losses. The biggest time loss I could see happening is maybe 5 seconds if one of them bonked and then missed some of the knives that they were supposed to dig out of the dragon's head, but neither of them bonked, it looked like, and they are hitting the hearts here because they will be taking some deliberate damage when they get on the head, and you'll be seeing that in a moment from Zinpars, where he does deliberately take damage just so he has that little bit of invincibility. He can hit the knives a little bit earlier. It's not necessary, but it just makes the boss fight a little easier. Damage from Iluvatar as well. And Iluvatar looks like he had a little bit of a better first cycle there, just faster throws, faster ground bounds, so might have made up a tiny bit of time there. He picks up the heart, and Zinpars waits for the electricity rings to fly on by. Looks like Zinpars missing one of those throws. It seems as though, since Iluvatar doesn't have the motion controls, he's actually a little bit better with aiming the cap throws with this fight, because since he doesn't have the motion controls, he can't shake to home in with Cappy, so he this boss fight is going a little bit more, a little bit better for him, because he's getting those cap throws just a little bit faster, being more accurate. But Zinpars having some trouble with one of them. We did an interesting setup there where he got 3 of the knives with just 1 throw, which I'm not sure if it saved time or not, but oh, Iluvatar missing one of the ground bounds, but both a pretty decent fight from both of them. There aren't any major time losses from either of them, which is to be expected from this. And Source, I'm not calling them bumps anymore. I've decided to call them spin pounds. It's clearer for... it's just more self-explanatory. And no real shifts in the amount of time they're ahead. We'll see here. It was a 7-second lead for Zinpars. Maybe it's like a 5-second lead for Zinpars now, because I feel Iluvatar did have a better fight there. But we'll see. So he gets the white fade out at around 54:10. And Iluvatar gets it around 54:17, so didn't really change at all there. Zinpars still 7 seconds ahead, and we'll see if Bowser's changes up the lead at all, which it likely will, because Bowser's, the boss fights, there's 3 different boss fights, and any of them could go terribly wrong. So see that, and just difficult platforming all around. We might see some different strategies here, as there are 3 options for moons that you can get. So we'll see if which each of them go for. Looks like Zinpars is going for the moon behind the wall here. where he will be using the bird, it looks like, to try and teleport back up right after he picks up the moon, which is really cool. And it looks like Iluvatar is opting to go for a different moon, which, if he's going for the moon which has been named Glory Hole, the Glory Hole moon, it is a little bit slower, but he may go for another one hidden behind the big wall, I believe it's called, which is slightly faster if done really well. So we'll see. Iluvatar might have made up some time here, and it does actually look like Iluvatar's ahead, but keep in mind that Zinpars does have that extra moon. But based on Iluvatar's route that he's been taking, it seems like he's been taking a lot of the safe strats, so he may just go for Glory Hole. We will see. Coming up are the Moon Shards, which there's no major risk here for anything major going wrong, but it is easy to miss a shard or two and lose a second or so, so we will see if there's going to be any mistakes that might add up over the course of the run. But Iluvatar opting to take the bird, and we'll see if Zinpars takes the bird, because it is a little bit faster to not take the bird if it's done right, and it looks like Zinpars has chosen not to, but it's a little bit sloppy there. Zinpars is doing a cool strat with a down throw to get the other token, and he did get it, so that's the first time I've actually seen that done in a run. But very good, and looks like Iluvatar will be going for will be opting to skip the Glory Hole moon and going for the one behind the big wall, which does actually have a pretty good chance of death. Like, if you mess it up a little bit, you can just fall and die. This next moon as well, it's just on the right, on the wall here. We'll see if they have any trouble with it, because the camera is a little bit finicky here, and it is easy to miss your cap when you dive for it there. Iluvatar gets it real easy, and Zinpars being real careful with his camera there. Good idea. The world record on this game, Polar Coon, is 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 20 seconds by Negrovita. Zinpars doing a spin pound roll there. Stylish. And Iluvatar going for Harriet first, and it looks like Zinpars will be doing the same. And this fight, it isn't terribly difficult, but if you mess it up, you do have to wait for her to throw another bomb, which can waste a little bit of time, but it's a very close race so far. And we can see, it's like Iluvatar did have a pretty much, just having a really good Harriet fight, as well as Zinpars as well. I don't think they made any mistakes yet. I may have missed one from Zinpars' side, but see, and both done the Harriet fight, so Iluvatar does look like he has a bit of a lead, but he may be behind just because he has to pick up that extra moon there. And there is a clean hit from Iluvatar on those 3 hats from Topper, and does get the 2 tricky hits. Jumping on Topper there when he's spinning in the hat there, it's kind of difficult. It's very easy to mess up, so they both get it, which is good, and nice. Yeah, both really good Topper fights from the both of them. So Iluvatar a little bit ahead, but he may be a little bit behind just because he has to pick up that extra moon. We'll see here. I'm not sure how much extra time taking that moon is going to take, so see. Yeah, not a big lead at all. But I believe Zinpars does have the lead, despite how it looks. Iluvatar does have to pick up this extra moon, which we will see. Oh, and that's what I said. If it's a little bit sloppy, it's a little bit slower than the other one. So it looks like Iluvatar did lose some time there and is now behind. But, oh, Zinpars, is he going to die here? He does die, so Zinpars throws away his lead, unfortunately, which sucks, but anything can happen on this mech fight. And Zinpars could easily make it back if he gets a good mech fight here, as well as a solid moon. But we'll see. And it looks like Iluvatar using not the motion controls to get up with the bird, but if you spin the control stick, it actually does the motion control bird motions anyways. So Iluvatar looking like he has the motion controls, but just spinning his control stick instead, which does work. It's a little bit slower, but it still works. And Iluvatar going into this boss fight, and we'll see how solid the boss fight is. It is very easy to mess up. If one of them falls off, it could pass the lead over, but Iluvatar bonks still makes it up though, so that's good. And Iluvatar, let's see if he gets hit by the ears. He doesn't, so he makes it up, gonna get the second hit, and let's see the climb from Zinpars. Doing a little bit of the older strat. It is, I think, 4 seconds slower, so Iluvatar making up some time there. But they both get back on the mech. Relative ease, yeah. Zinpars going for his second hit, just misses it, but doesn't fall off, which is good. And Iluvatar going for the last hit here in a moment, and Zinpars still on. They're both on the mech, so no mistakes yet. Iluvatar getting Harriet on the second hit, and it looks like Zinpars will be going for the third brutal here in a moment. One of the trickier ones, and he does get it. And it's up, and he should have enough height to get back up really easily on the Harriet there. So get ground pounds Harriet first try. So Zinpars, because of that death, he's a little bit behind, but nothing too crazy. If one of them misses a cycle on the Bowser fight in Moon, it could easily be made up if Iluvatar does make a mistake. But right now, Iluvatar does have a bit of a lead there. Looks like maybe, I'll say, 20 seconds or so. That'll be my prediction, but it could be less than that. We'll see. So Iluvatar got the multi-moon at around 1 hour and 2 minutes exactly, and looks like Zinpars gets it at around 1 hour, 20 minutes, and say 18 seconds. So it looks like Zinpars is behind by about 18 seconds due to that death, but it can still be easily made up if Zinpars has a cleaner moon. And there is some rolling done on moon, so Zinpars will make up some time for that. We'll see. And moon skip as well. One of them, Iluvatar, may make a mistake with that. So it's anyone's race still. It's go either way. But the final kingdom, going to Moon, or going to fight Bowser. The rematch. See, Iluvatar, it's going to be interesting to see what he does, since he isn't able to do very fast rolling. It's going to be cool to see what he's able to do here. Looks like he is opting to roll, but he is probably doing the just regular rolling. Boosting whenever he can, and just does the long jump. We'll see if Zinpars goes for vectoring. And vectoring is when you jump and turn in midair to go a little bit faster. We might see it. We'll see. Looks like he is trying it where he's jumping and then turning about 90 degrees, and he goes a little bit further and a little bit faster. So he is making up some time there over Iluvatar. And you will see Moon skip here in a moment after we walk around here, where we jump off of the Sphinx's head, which Iluvatar is walking towards. And you actually skip the entire cave in the moon, which saves about 5 minutes if get it. And it looks like Iluvatar does get that moon skip on the first try. It is really tricky. There's a very specific spot on the wall that you need to jump on, so good that Iluvatar got it on the first try. Zinpars does miss the spot on the wall because he does miss his Cappy jump, unfortunately. But second try, does he get it? Seemed like a little bit to the right, but he did get it. And Zinpars missing that. Probably lost all the time that he made up due to his good movement at the beginning, but these rolls are making up a little bit of time anyways here, with just being able to roll faster than Zinpars, or being able to roll faster than Iluvatar. Iluvatar in the boss fight, and Zinpars entering it now, just skipping through 2 cutscenes. And we'll see if either of them miss one of the hats, because if Iluvatar misses a single hat, he will basically lose his lead, because there really isn't that big of a lead here at all. But both pretty solid starts from Zinpars and Iluvatar. Zinpars had a little bit of trouble getting that first hat with the missed one of his hat throws, which ain't too bad, but Iluvatar doing a damage strat for the second cycle of Bowser. Iluvatar getting a little bit hasty there, started punching early, but didn't take damage. It is pretty easy to take damage if you do start punching early and get distracted with how many times Bowser has swung his tail, but Zinpar's done the second stage as Iluvatar finished the second stage and is in the fire phase. See Iluvatar taking that deliberate damage and misses the hat, and Bowser picks it up, so this has some time. Zinpars is able to make up the time there, and he does get the hat on the second try, which is good, but you can see that there really isn't that big of a lead now, because Zinpars does get it on the first try. So Iluvatar threw away a little bit of his lead, and now, like, he has just a tiny lead now. It's only a few seconds. Yeah, like, it'll, I think it's going to come down to probably the pillars at the very end with, will Iluvatar's lack of motion control slow him down on those pillars enough that it'll cost him the race? We'll see. The other thing is 2D skip. It's relatively easy trick, but if you mess it up, it's a huge time loss. So maybe Iluvatar might be feeling a little bit nervous because of that's a mistake and opt to not take 2D skip while Zinpars still takes it and makes up a little bit of time there. We'll see. Zinpar's taking some damage. It's not that big of a time loss, but it's still time loss, so it's not something he can afford at this point in the race. He does need to make up that time. But let's see. It looks like Iluvatar will be going for 2D skip. He makes it really cleanly, and looks like Zinpars will be doing it as well, and Zinpars makes it as well. Just gets it. That's good. Zinpars having some trouble with the bricks. Probably lost a little bit of time there just with the not 100% optimal movement. But it's very close. Zinpar's only maybe 7 or 8 seconds behind, but I think Iluvatar might have this one because it's not that much slower with motion controls on these pillars. We'll see. But you can see that he is swiping. He did swipe at the very beginning there, which basically made it so he is now able to shoot fireballs without motion controls, I believe. Looks like Iluvatar maybe a little bit ahead here, but they're both going to that pillar, so Iluvatar might be a little bit ahead. It'll be very, very close. This is going to be a good one. These fireballs might help Zinpars just enough. We'll see. Zinpars might have it because of he had the fireballs. Because Zinpars is there right now. This is going to be very close. If Zinpars takes damage, it might be Iluvatar, but I think Zinpars pulled it back at the very end. Wow. So it looks like Zinpars wins by just like maybe a second or two, which is just absolutely insane. By 1 second. That's incredible. Wow, fantastic race from the both of them. And let's see if they want to come in for an interview here. Let's see. At Zinpars interview. At Iluvatar interview. Alright. So we should be seeing them popping into the, just join the voice channel. They should be here in just a moment. We'll be seeing them soon. But that was an excellent race from the both of them. A 108.50, like, sub 109 is an excellent race, and that was really good. It went back and forth a lot, so it's really fun to watch and fun to commentate, seeing all their different strategies there. Let's see here. Join us for an interview.
Hello.
And hey, Zinpars, how's it going?
Hey, it's going nice.
And welcome, Iluvatar, as well.
Hey.
Incredible race from both of you guys. That was crazy.
Yeah, did I really win? Because it was so close.
Yeah, by 1 second apparently. It's crazy
Oh
close.
my god.
Just a single second.
That's so crazy.
Anything you want to say about your race, you two? Anything that went terribly wrong or went really right that you were worried about?
I don't know. I think I made a lot of small mistakes. Not big one, but very too much small mistakes. Also, I'm quite sad about the Sphinx clip because it could have changed 1 second. But anyway, no, I did quite good. So, GG Zinpars for your run.
Yeah, GG.
Yeah, the thing is, if I think if Iluvatar, if you had the same version, if you would have done Turnip Clip and Sphinx Clip, you may have had that race.
I never did Turnip Clip. It's like I never learned it because for me I don't have the same setup because I don't have the motion control to throw the turnip and everything.
True.
So it's kind of hard. But for the Sphinx Clip, yeah, it's a big difference because it's like 7 seconds, something like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's.
Yeah. It took me a few tries to get Sphinx Clip.
It was, I think, 3rd try for you, which.
Yeah, I think so. And I also made a big mistake in Bowser's Kingdom. I went for a risky triple jump and didn't get enough height. So I tried to save it and then I just died.
Yeah, unfortunately, you did have those the 2 deaths, the one in Wooded and the one in Bowser's, which allowed Iluvatar to pull ahead a little bit in those sections.
Yeah, in Wooded I died because of a first frame jump. I didn't get my cap my cap bounce back.
Yeah, I saw that. It was really unfortunate.
Yeah, it was pretty annoying, but yeah, I just kept going.
Mm.
But yeah, it was a really good race, and respect to you, Iluvatar, for getting so far with the GameCube controller.
It's crazy impressive.
Really amazing.
It's kind of easier for me to play the GameCube controller because there are anchor on the stick, and so it's very precise. It's more precise. So I tried the Pro controller a few days ago. I started to learn it because I think there are almost 1 minute more, 1 minute 30 seconds to lose just because of no motion control. So I'm learning it right now, but I'm not ready to play with it. But the big difference for me is the precision of the stick. It's like I made so much mistakes every time because of no anchor on the stick with the Pro controller. So it's kind of easier for me with the GameCube controller. There are a lot of easier things to do. But yeah, I'm quite proud with my time with only the GameCube controller, and I will try to beat it with the Pro.
Yeah, and I guess that you guys have any last things you want to say before we close off this race?
No, just big GG. That was very, very close. It's impressive to have that close race.
I think that's the closest race so far, or at least the closest that I've seen.
Yeah.
And thanks for the commentary. I'm gonna rewatch the VOD to see how hyped it was to finish almost at the same time.
Yeah, the leads swapped so often. It was always going back and forth. It was a really good race.
Okay.
Cool.
I guess with that, thank you for racing, Iluvatar and Zinpars.
Thank you for the commentate.
Excellent race. Thanks to Speed Gaming for hosting the race. Make sure to follow both of the runners. They both on Twitch, and they're both very talented, so make sure to do that. Guess that's it. Thank you for watching, and yeah, we'll see you at the next race.
See ya, guys.
See you.